Here I am, in the place to be. Mr. K and B, you can't fuck with me. Extra sexy, extraordinary. Palms are hairy, your mama pop. What up, y'all? It's K and B, the Sexy Ninja, in the place to be for a Paper Saber universe. And this is the Sexy Ninjacast, the podcast, the vlogcast, whatever you want to say it. It is for that ass. If you're listening on all the platforms I'm on, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it, my sexy voice is there. Or if you're rocking with it on the YouTube channel right here, right now, thank you as well. We're trying to build the channel. There's some exclusive stuff only on this channel that you're not going to get on the feeds on Apple and everything like that. So if you want to come rock with me on a Paper Saber universe, the YouTube channel, come rock with me because we're doing it. We're doing the damn thing. And I'm also on Twitch if you want to go check out that. So this is the Sexy Ninja Cast is a podcast all about me and my loves, my interests, everything that makes me tick, everything that makes me like nerd out and stuff like that. So I've been doing a lot of reading this week, a lot of reading. I was going to drop a podcast yesterday, but I just wanted to read. And I read something by Tom King, his Trinity story with the next set of the Trinity, you know, Damian as Batman, Jonathan as Superman, and you got Lizzie, Elizabeth, however you want to say her name. She's Wonder Woman now, you know, the daughter of Diana. Don't know who the father is and everything like that. But it's a real fun story, and it goes in like 3 chapters. Then a little fun adventure in the end, a little cool thing with her mom. And it's a really fun story just because you're looking at these characters, you know, they have this legacy about them and everything like that. And there's a really great running joke in the story about Superman's S, because, you know, ever since the Man of Steel came around, they're like, what's the S stand for? It stands for hope. Hope starts with an H, stupid, you know, like all the stuff that spawned from that. And then there's a constant running joke in this story about the S, you know, does it mean for shut up? Does it mean shh? You know, there's so many great jokes. And Jonathan and Damian's relationship in this story is so adorable. I mean, they get at each other. They say they're going to kill each other. And you add Elizabeth to the mix, and she's just great as well, too. You get her in one part of the story where she's just a kid. She's Wonder Robin or whatever, Robin Wonder or Wonder Robin or something like that. She goes with Damian, and she kicks the shit out of a Killer Croc. Then you go into the next story where they're at the Fortress of Solitude. Then you go in on Themyscira, and they have to go do these trials and everything. And, you know, it's just a really cool combination. And I would love to see a new Trinity series that they've done before, but with these 3 in place, you know, have it placed and set in the future a little bit, or even an animation. Like I really love Damian. I love his version of his Batman because he's so serious and, you know, he doesn't like jokes and anything like that. That's why I really enjoyed this book. And then I read this other book by Jason Aaron called Batman Offworld. It is so Batman, it's Batman. And it's just one of those books where Batman got his ass kicked by an alien, pretty much. And he told himself, like, well, I'm not going to let that happen again. So I'm going to go off, have Star Labs build me a spaceship so I can go off into space so I can learn that environment and then kick aliens' asses so I can be ready for them, and especially a particular one that kicked his ass in the story or the whole reason why he went to space. And it's just this trial of, you know, he befriends a robot, he befriends a wolf, you know, he there's this tribe he goes to on this planet, and they're like, hey man, we got these wolves that are like hunting us and eating us and all this and that, and he's like, oh, okay. So he goes, and it's in the issue 2. I think it's a 6-issue run, but issue 3's out. Issue 4 is going to be out here soon. But at the end of this issue 2, he goes up. He's like, "You're the alpha." And then on the awesome cover of the next one, it's it's him with the wolf and everything. He befriends the wolf, and then he makes a new Batman suit. And then, you know, after he's done it, he goes and kicks the alien's ass. So this is only issue 3. Kicks the alien's ass, and then it's like, hey, let's go find out about these guys, these minor people, evil corporation that's in space and stuff like that. Let's go figure out what they're doing and everything. So really fun story. And I got somebody here that's itching to be on the podcast real quick because she hasn't been on the podcast, and we got a little bit of an announcement to make. Why don't you come on down? All right.
Hello.
This is the Killer, as she was called, or Kathy. Were we still rolling with that?
Yeah.
The Killer?
Yeah.
The killer of food, the killer of snacks. And speaking of snacks, you want to tell them?
We're going to make another snack me's. We're going to.
Yeah, I got some ideas from some snack me's. We've done them before in the past, and we've had a lot of fun doing them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my favorite ones go back to trying the drinks and trying the candy bars and stuff like that.
My favorite ones were where we ate like the hot Cheetos.
Oh, yeah, and then see who would be tougher,
Yeah.
like, and stronger. Then I'd be like, I'm so sick,
Yeah.
So snack me's are on the way, and you want to talk about Roblox real quick, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Shout out to
You got to
Roblox.
speak right in here, baby.
Shout out to Roblox. It keeps me entertained like 24/7, and I'd like to play with my friends.
24/7. When do
Yeah.
you sleep? I don't sleep. I watch things.
Yeah, and it's super fun, and maybe I'll get my own channel, and maybe I will talk about Roblox even more.
Yeah, and we're doing some gaming stuff here. I did the 2K24 WWE game, and the game that she's kicked my butt on, to be honest. I think there's a video out there of me and you, and it's Roman Reigns versus John Cena, and you kicked my butt on that game.
Yeah, but I felt bad because Roman Reigns, I like him.
You like Roman Reigns? Yeah. So that was it, though. That's the news. Snack me's are going to be coming out soon. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, y'all. And other things I've been watching, I finally started the Supergirl series. If you can look to right there, I collected every single season of Supergirl because I really wanted to watch the show. I really wanted to catch up on that because I was watching Flash when it came out, Arrow when it came. Well, I started Arrow, then really didn't care for it, and then I went to a panel at a Comic-Con, and he started talking about the second season. They're talking about Ra's al Ghul and stuff. I was like, what? What? It's not just him brooding and whatnot and being Batman, basically. No, it's I was just like, okay, and they started building that universe from that. They brought in the Flash, and then Grant Gustin, great Flash, and then they started like, here's Supergirl, here's this, Black Lightning, and it was just like, oh my God, the CW verse, and then, of course, life happens, and I had a kid, and I had to take the responsibility of not watching these shows anymore because I had responsibility, so I had to stop. So now I'm playing catch up, and I was like, first things first, I really do want to start in this Supergirl. I really want to do it. So my goal, even though you can see I have a bunch of shit, my goal is to collect all the DC shows that I've loved over the years, including animation on physical media, just so I can have it just in case anything happens. And physical media, I believe, is important because I went after a match the other day, and I was watching. I'm just on a wrestling tip real quick. I went and watched. I was going to watch this Dusty Rhodes match where he wins the championship from Ric Flair in a steel cage and everything like that. And I could not find it on Peacock. I could not find it on YouTube or anything like that. But I found it on his disc set, 3-disc set they dropped back in the day when they did documentaries and stuff like that. But that's besides the point. I'm trying to collect all the CW shows for myself. I finally finished Supergirl. Then the next one's going to start with The Flash because I know it's 9 seasons. And I know I could buy the box set, but the hunt of finding these individual seasons is so satisfying. We have a place called Bookman's that has them, so that's why I'm going to start with The Flash, because I think they're up to season 7 or whatnot. Then after that, I was going to do DC's Legends tomorrow. I got Peacemaker and everything like that. I also got this cool Legion, not Legion, wait, let's see where it's at real quick. Hold on. Oh, yeah, the Legion of Superheroes. Like, Superman looks freaking weird, doesn't he? Look at him. He looks really, really weird in this. So, yeah, but it's funny. It's like the Superman in that image and the Superman in that image, far two different things and everything. So, yeah, that's been my goal. And I started the Supergirl series, and I really enjoyed it. I'm only like 2 episodes in, but there's in the second episode when Kara sees her mom. And she goes, like, it's an AI version of her mom. You know how Clark had his thing at the Fortress of Solitude. And she was just like, how can I help you today? And all of a sudden she just says, I want a hug. And my heart sank into my chest because I was like, oh, because she's dealing with all these things, of like, I want to be out there. I know I got my cousin, he's Superman. He's being the Man of Steel. Everyone knows him. He's a legend and blah, blah, blah. Cause I came here like way 20 years later before him, and I'm growing up and I'm working at this place that really doesn't recognize me as a person, And so when she finally becomes Supergirl, it's such a fun ride, and she's still learning. So what I really like about the show is like episode 2 is like, this is week 2. And I'm like, oh, okay, so we're growing with this character as we move along with these seasons, and I really like this actress. I can't say the actress's name right now because I'm still like getting into the show and stuff like that, but I went out of the way to collect all 6 seasons, I believe there is, and I found a steelbook version of season 2, which I was really excited about, and that's The Hunt, baby. That is The Hunt. And I know there's a steelbook version for The Flash season 2. I think they did it for most of the season 2 shows. Though I'm not fully correct, but I'm also want to see Batwoman because I know she shows up there too as well, and that's so cool. And they had this whole crossover events they did every year, and you know they when they killed off Oliver. I already know most of the spoilers because most of the spoilers were given to me, but I want to jump on in. I just want to dive first. Like I think I made it up to season 3 or 4 of The Flash, and everyone's told me like, yeah. It's a ride. It's a bumpy ride after a few seasons for The Flash, especially going towards the last season and stuff like that. But I was like, I'll take it. You know, I'm somebody that's willing to dive in, and if I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks in Colorado in a hotel, damn right I want to have something to watch, even though I'm going to have Dynamite, SmackDown, everything like that to do for the New World podcast. I need something to watch and consume, and then I can tell you all about it and how much I'm enjoying it, and I think that's really fun. I'm only 2 episodes deep in Supergirl, but man, that actress, she nails who Supergirl is in my mind and everything. So when they do the Supergirl movie, I'm very interested on what route they're going to take. They said they're going to do it based on Woman of Tomorrow and everything. So I'm very interested to see what we're going to do with that Supergirl. I really like Supergirl in The Flash. I thought she was, that actress was fantastic as her, a different take, different version, you know, more of a broken character because, you know, when she came to Earth, they threw her into this red sun thing to keep her powers down. And, you know, she was a broken character, but then of course she got killed over and over and over again in that movie. But she got this fight alongside Keaton's Batman and everything. So I love my DC universe, and I also love Marvel, but DC's more down in my soul. As you can see, my Justice League, Zack Snyder Justice League back there and everything. But on the Marvel side of things, I read some Marvel things. I read this Avengers Twilight by Chip Zdarsky. Oh, this is their Kingdom Come. This is Marvel's Kingdom Come, and I'm really digging it. Great artwork by Alex Ross. I've been a huge fan of him for a long time. I had this really great book one time of Alex Ross's work, and I would just flip through that thing. It got stolen, and I wish I got it back because that book now is running for like $200 on eBay or something like that. Something crazy where I'm like, I'm not willing to pay that because I bought it at cover price when it came out. And there's another one I really want too, is a Jim Lee Icons book about all his artwork and a little bit of history of Jim Lee and stuff like that. I'm a sucker for art. So one of the biggest things in my weaknesses is variant covers. I love variant covers, especially, but I had to calm it down a bit because I get a little bit too crazy, especially when it comes to my Green Lantern, and I start collecting all the Green Lantern books. So every time a Green Lantern book comes out, there's usually a variant cover that comes with it. And at the comic book shop I go to, Cab Comics, yay! I go and he's like, oh, there goes Kyle and his variants. I got to look at my variants. You know, I'm like, oh, what about this one? Ooh, it's a foil cover. Ooh, look at this one. But it's all about the stories too. And in this Avengers Twilight, you got an older Captain America, no super soldier serum. He gets up and he's seeing the world as it is. They have their own version of the Avengers in this time. They got, I think his name is James Stark. I could be wrong. I just started reading the series. It's only on issue 2, but they have their own version of the Avengers. The media is controlled by the government and is telling us it's a deep dive into like our reality of like what the government wants us to see on the news and not see on the news and not be, be controlled by it. But they are controlling society by not showing them the real things. They're showing them these Avengers and whatnot. This whole new Captain America, Iron Man and stuff like that. But we got this older Steve Rogers who gets up and he's looking at this world. He's old and he meets up with Luke Cage, who's old as well, and he has this thing that's helping him walk around. And you meet Matt Murdock, and then they kill Matt Murdock by the second issue. But then they get Captain back to super soldier serum, but at an older age, and he's like, I'm getting the Avengers back together. You know, I gotta help. And my favorite part of the story is when he finally gets to the media and he goes on the mic and says, your freedoms are being taken away, your freedom in this country, your rights and everything like that. And no one gave a shit. And he was beaten down by it. But Luke Cage has to take him and slap him and be like, dude, no. We are barely beginning this fight. People are going to listen. You know, a rebellion is in the air. And it's really cool seeing, you know, and then Tony Stark's head's like in a jar or thing like that. But it's a really great read. And I already know this series is going to be huge and popular because the first issue, I bought cover price for $5.99, along with the second issue, I believe $5.99. Comic books have gone up, kids. When I was collecting, there was at least $1 something. Now we're like $3.99, $4.99, $5.99, $9.99 for a comic book these days, and them trades too are going up in price as well. So, if you want to collect comic books, you should really do your research first. Or if for newer people to catch up on things, I suggest the apps. You know, you got your DC Unlimited, you got your Marvel Unlimited, or I don't know, they're both called Unlimited. But you got those subscriptions that you can probably go to, your Kindle, Comixology. Well, I used to do Comixology because I liked other books. I like mixing Marvel and this. I didn't want to go to do 2 different destinations and stuff like that. So, yeah, get into your comic book world. Unless you want to read books. I like books. I love books. You know, do I read them all? Not really. That's why when I got to sit down and actually read, it felt so good. It felt so good. And I read this awesome giant size Miles Morales Spider-Man. His mom dies in it and everything. And it was like, it's seeing these characters when they get broken, when they get beat down, especially in Batman Offworld. Like this, he is taking beatings and lickings in that story, but he's like, I can't give up. I got to get back. He even turns down this alien who's helping him. You know, he's like, nah, I don't want to. She tries to kiss him, and he's like, you know, I got to get back to my real lady. That's Gotham City, because I'm Batman. I'm vengeance. And he's trying to make his name known out there, and you should be afraid of the Batman. You know? So that's just really cool, and it's just funny that he got his ass kicked, and then he's like, yeah, well, I'm gonna start this. I'm gonna tell them, build me a rocket ship so I can go to space and learn how to fight aliens. Great concept, man. And Chip Zdarsky, though, he's one of my favorite writers, and he's doing Avengers Twilight. He's also doing the current Batman run right now, which is great. He had Batman fly from the Watchtower into Earth's atmosphere and superhero land into the ground and stuff like that. Green Lantern, I'm slowly catching up on. I heard there's some great stuff with Alan Scott, who's the original Green Lantern before Hal Jordan and everything like that. So it's a lot of stuff to take in, especially in the universe. And like one of my favorite runs, I can see it right there, is Jeff Johns' Aquaman. And this was during the New 52. And kids, if you are reading or if you're not reading, they do these things every time to reboot the universe. And DC does it as well. I think they do it better than Marvel, in my opinion. I think they have a better aspect of like, hey, Kay, you know, we want to bring in some new readers. We want to bring in this. So we're going to have this thing called Rebirth. We're going to rebirth the universe and everything like that. Then we're going to do this thing called Crisis that's going to reset everything back to #1 so people can jump on that. And if you are interested, they have little tidbits in the bottom of the book like, hey, this happened in issue 705 or something like that. You know, that's why I think DC does that better, but because Marvel is just a constant like, we got this event. Where does this event take place? It takes place somewhere, somehow. You know, they got this whole Blood Hunt thing coming in with the vampires and Blade and everything like that, which is maybe cool. DC has not announced their next event, and these events usually happen in the summer on Free Comic Book Days when you get a little tease, and DC has not shared what they're going to do yet. And I'm just like, Marvel, though, they're like, hey, Blood Hunt, yeah, and it's graphic, and it's gritty, and it's bloody. You got Blade and vampires, baby. Throw them devil horns up. So, did I sign up for it? You're goddamn right I did. I'm really bad, man. I got a great story real quick. This is how bad I am. I remember at Cab's comic book shop, Corey, the owner, he's a great dude. Love him. He knows me too well, though. Knows me too well. Like one day I came in and he's like, hey, here's that bottle opener you got. And I was like, oh, bottle opener. Okay, cool. And I was like, oh, it's Green Lantern bottle opener. I'm like, oh, this is really nice. It's really cool, really heavy and whatnot. He goes, yeah. I was like, but I didn't order this. He goes, oh, okay. Well, if you don't want it, then I was like, I didn't say I didn't want it. I just said I didn't order it. He goes, okay. He's like, no. You know what? If you don't want it, you don't want it. You know, it's your choice. I was like,
Yeah, I'm like, and I looked around, make sure the wife is not around, and be like, all right, take my credit card, let me buy it, But his store is great. If you're ever in Flagstaff, Arizona, go to Cab Comics. I go there religiously. I call it my church. I call it my place to my other bubble, because I can enter things into this bubble and everything like that, so I can read these comic books. Everyone knows I'm a big Star Wars guy. There's a bunch of Star Wars comic books out there that you can check out. I'm looking at some. There's this great bounty hunt, War of the Bounty Hunters that happened too, where it's everyone's going after a Solo, because he was frozen in the carbonite, So that's a great storyline. And comic books are something that I cherish, because I've always had them as a kid. Like, my first issue was Nova, and it was this gold cover, and I remember, like, my dog chewed it. Like, I have that issue somewhere in my collection, but I think deep down, comic books are very important because they motivate, and they also give you a story, and they also, like, give you this, like, sense of hope, Like, I remember talking to my kid about, great power comes great responsibility, and that's something I learned from comic books. I've learned some moral values from comic books. Are the villains fun, though? Yeah, the villains are fun. You got Joker, and as I mentioned with Chip Zdarsky, he's doing a Joker Year 1. We're going to get the origin story of the Joker, even though we've gotten little tidbits here and there, Red Hood and stuff like that. So he's supposed to be giving us the grimy, grimy, real Joker thing. And, that's why I always cherish the movies, because, we had Heath Ledger. I know people knock Jared Leto, but I like Jared Leto's Joker from the Snyder cut of the Justice League and stuff like that. I will always root for my DC universe, even though sometimes the DC universe is not great on the big screen sometimes, but I'll still enjoy them. I'll still find reasons why I love these characters and why I hold these characters on such a high, like, standard, because I'm like, yes, Avengers, awesome, cool, but Justice League, the JSA, Justice Society of America, that's my peanut butter and jam on toast, son. So, and there's a lot of comic books out there, like Big Daddy. He reads a lot of independent stuff and stuff like that. There's Godzilla comic books out there. If you're into Godzilla, of course, there's there's just so many comic books out there. It's crazy, and it's awesome in creating. I want to create my own comic book. I already have a few ideas of what I want to do, and there's stories that I'm like, I could get this onto a page. I just need to find a really dope artist that's willing to collaborate with me and make these stories, because once you make these stories, you have it forever. There's people I follow on TikTok. There's people I follow on Instagram that are comic book creators, and I get a little jealous because I'm like, I could be that guy as well, and I can be if I just get the pen to paper and start writing and start making these things and find somebody that's willing to collaborate and willing to have some fun with these books and everything like that. So, all right, y'all. I'm very excited. I want to start Supergirl up again after recording this, because I'm really into the show right now, and I'm glad that I have at least 6 seasons to hold me down in Colorado for 2 weeks. And starting hopefully this Sunday, you'll see a different background. It's going to be in a hotel room or motel. I don't know the difference between a hotel and motel. Okay, that's how stupid I am sometimes. Okay, but it's fine though. I will bring content. I will bring it as is. And that's it. That's all. Like and subscribe. Share it with your grandma. Share it with your grandpa. Share with the bum down at Walmart. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com/New World Podcast. Get that sweet NWP logo created by Penta X. More merchandise is on the way there. I promise. I know I said that before, but I got some really great logos, really great things that are going to be on that store. So ProWrestlingTees.com/New World Podcast. You'll get some K&B shirts. You'll get some awesome New World Podcast shirts, a Paper Saber Universe shirts. It's all going to be right there for now. I've been slowly looking at building a website as well in a new store called the Paper Saber Universe store and stuff like that. So a lot of things are on the works. We got Snack Me and all that. So a lot of good stuff and cool other things that I have in mind. So stay tuned. All right. I'm KMB the Sexy Ninja. And remember, stay sexy, ninjas. Whoop, whoop.
Welcome to the wicked shit.